right here. Cry me a river, cry me a river, cry me a river. Skap attack cried us a river, as we knew he would, over Joker, putting up 30, 20, and 20 last night as they beat the Suns, the Denver Nuggets. And look, man, I'm not trying to be mean, but this guy, I just can't get with it, man. He wants Joker to win this based off of stats, folks. Basically, that's what he's saying. His argument is off of stats. And you can't really do that in the sense that, look at the era. First of all, I'm going to tell you why in a minute, but I'm just saying per se, look at the competition at the center position. If he's able to do this, what he's doing, and don't get me wrong, his numbers done went down since the beginning of the season. Even though he done put up some, great triple doubles and a lot of triple doubles, his numbers have gone down since, a quarter way into the season when they were like skyrocket high as far as his points, rebounds, assists. They have went down a little bit, but that's no big issue. The issue is Skap Attack claims that he should win this thing based off of stats. We've always known the MVP to be the most valuable to your team. That's what we've always known. There's been instances where we can look back and say, wait, how come this guy didn't win it? How come that guy didn't win it? But this is what I'm going to say. As Skap cries us a river about he thinks that OKC will railroad Denver, and I think they got 2 matchups left in the season. And he says that, basically Denver is going to get mollywopped by OKC. And he claims that OKC has this great talent. I haven't seen it. Has anybody seen it? I really haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. First, what we got to remember, Denver Nuggets, I would say for about 3 years straight, they've been playing at a high level. So it's hard to keep that high level of play up, to keep going like that. Now, have they won 3 championships? Has they been in the finals 3 straight times? No. But I'm just saying they've been playing at a high level the past 3 years. Not to mention, not this year, but 3 years prior, they've been playing at a high level. OKC ain't been playing at that same high level as Denver the past 3 years when we don't count this season. So what you got to remember is, if we think that those guys are on that OKC team, well, we can say the teammates of SGA, if we really think those guys in that lineup are better than the lineup in Denver, something's wrong with Skap. Something's wrong with this guy. I don't even think it's really close. I really don't even think these guys really got to play high level as far as his teammates until really the playoffs. That's just how it is, folks. That's what I think. Nevertheless, let's think about this, folks. Let's think about this right here. And we're talking about stats. And I know these are all-time great stats, and but it's just making things look worse here. And he's putting up stats. He's not putting up these stats in the 2010s. The pace was a little bit slower, but faster than the 2000s. He's not putting up these numbers in the 2000s, where the pace was even more slow than the 2010s. He's putting up these numbers in the 2020s, a non-defensive era, and you're shunned if you play defense. It's a joke. It's a complete joke. Kevin Durant don't play defense. LeBron James doesn't play defense. Curry don't play defense. Bill don't play defense. What's his name? Tatum don't play defense. Karl Anthony Towns don't play defense. The fake Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards don't play defense. Basically, all your top guys don't play defense because you know what? How do I know? How do we know? Even Joker don't play defense. How do we know this, folks? They have never made a defensive team. All those guys that I mentioned. Luka never made a defensive team. That's how we know they don't play defense, because in an era where they don't even play defense, all you have to do is act like you're playing defense and you're going to make a defensive team. Look at this. LeBron's been acting like he's been playing defense the past couple of weeks, and they want to put him on all NBA first team. That's how crazy that is. So Joker putting up these numbers is not the same as him doing it in prior eras. It just ain't. Next, what I'm going to say is, don't think I'm beating up on Joker, because I respect the way he went about his business. Now, I don't think he's a top, to me, I don't think he's a top 4 or 5 center of all time. I just I can't do it. But we do know that I told you earlier I put him above LeBron James with 1 championship, because LeBron James never won a championship with only 1 Hall of Fame teammate. Never did that. Don't give me Kevin Love. Don't give me Kevin Love. Don't give that to me. Or in Joker's case, no Hall of Fame teammate, no All-Star teammate, no All-NBA teammate, nothing. And no super team for Joker. So Joker is above LeBron James. And I'm starting to want to put Greek Freak above LeBron James, because he did the same thing pretty much that Joker did. Went about his business, took the right route and did it the right way. And he had an all-time great NBA Finals. We forget about that, folks. All-time great finals. Historic, I would say. Historic NBA Finals. Has LeBron ever had a historic NBA Finals like Greek Freak? No, sir. Was he able to propel a team with maybe, we talk about Drew Holiday, who's been defensive team 6 times, right? 3 first, 3 second. I think, did he make the All-Star? Maybe like once or twice. Was it the All-Star? But let's just basically say a defensive guy. LeBron James never did that. Took a defensive guy to the finals and won. He never did that. And we remember when he got knocked out by those same Suns that Greek Freak beat. Remember, Anthony Davis was on that team, folks. They just won a championship. The next year, they get knocked out by Chris Paul, Andre Ayton. I think that's his name. Is it Andre? And now we know Devin Booker. So basically, 2 Hall of Famers against 2 Hall of Famers. And LeBron James gets knocked out. And don't tell me his team wasn't deep, because it was deep. It was basically the same team as the year after. Even though they did get rid of a couple pieces, but at any rate, I'm leaning towards that, putting Greek Freak over him. We just got to come to the conclusion. I know a guy in my comment earlier said, nah, man, he started putting up the MVPs, the championships. And I know it, man. 4 championships, 4 MVPs, 4 finals MVPs, scoring title, assist title. I'm not counting these little gimmick, in-season tournament. I'm not counting none of that, folks. I mean, Greek has one of them anyways. Because when I look at LeBron's championships, they're fugazi. Which one should I count that isn't fugazi with his super teams? Even 2020 super team with Dwight Howard. And don't think they made sure Dwight Howard didn't get on that top 75 team, because LeBron James has all the power. He could have went to the committee and tried to get his buddy on there. But to me, I think they made sure, Clutch Sports made sure he didn't get on that top 75. It's embarrassing, folks. I mean, as far as statistical accolades, he buries LeBron James. Buries him. So, at any rate, it was still a super team with Howard. And some people are saying Rondo was going to be the Hall of Fame. I don't know. They might make sure Rondo don't get in that Hall of Fame. But that when you go back and look at that team was stacked. Another stacked team that probably wasn't even going to win a championship if it wasn't for the bubble. Yep, another stacked team, and they played a weak Heat in that championship. And Anthony Davis pretty much carried him throughout the NBA playoffs. In that season, we know those 2 MVPs. We give them the MVPs in Cleveland. That was his team. Now, we can debate, did he deserve them? Who knows? But we know he didn't deserve the MVPs in Miami. He deserved it. Even if he would have got 1 of them, that could have been a little acceptable. 2 of them? How did you dismantle the East and win 2 back-to-back MVPs after getting your ass kicked by a plumber Dirk? And the dude was on the verge of getting knocked out in the playoffs in 2012. Boston only had to win 1 more game, and Boston ended up losing something crazy like the next 2 games or 3 games. But that's how old they were, folks. They had the number 1 seed over Boston when he was in Cleveland 2 years in a row. So we take those fraudulent championships away because he never led a team. We talked about that before. He left his home. He didn't have a home, so he was a gypsy. And he was playing with other teams' number 1 franchise players. So you can't lead a team, especially when you're not at home and you're playing with other teams' number 1 franchise players. So if you guys did win a championship, you guys all 3 of you guys led a team to a championship, right? Chris Bosh, Wade, and LeBron James all led a team to a championship. all number ones. Who cares if LeBron won the MVP? You got to give it to anybody. I mean, somebody. Hell, they gave it to Iguodala. That don't mean he's the leader of the team. I mean, what are we talking about? So when we go over there to Cleveland, all number ones of another team, he left his home. Yeah, he came back home, but that was Kyrie's home. So all three of them just led a team to a championship. Yes, he got the MVP, but it was no leader of the team because they were all number ones. You go to LA. Yes, Howard wasn't a number one at the time, but Howard was a number one of another team at one time. And we know AD was. So three guys led a team to a championship. LeBron James wasn't a leader. And LA was not his home. He went over there. So that's that, folks. And like I said, the MVPs, Fugazi. So what's he really got to stand on? In my opinion, 2 MVPs, really. 2 MVPs. I mean, dispute, whatever. The finals MVP? we could say he should not have got those finals MVPs. Some of them. But they gave it to him. So his whole career, as far as that's Fugazi. So when you look at Greek Freak, you look at Joker, they led teams to a championship. They weren't playing with other teams' number one franchise players. And those guys, it is what it is. So back to this. Crimea River, Skap attack. It's not based off of stats, homie. And we just mentioned that stats in this era is Fugazi. It's not the same. I said before, let's see what happens at the end of the year, where he can take his team. OKC is running away with this thing. The Lakers done came up and took the number 2 spot. And the Nuggets, I think they're in the 3. So they're going back and forth with the Lakers for that number 2 spot. Now, to me, SGA, he's playing better defense. He's going to be on the defensive team. Playing great offense. I think they got better perimeter players, better perimeter defenders than they do paint defenders in this league. So I think, he's going against better competition on the perimeter than Joker is going against in the paint. That's just how it is. And we done seen, look who they were playing, though, the Suns. But we seen in a couple games before they played the Suns, teams were just like, we're just going to shut Joker down. We're not going to let him we're not going to let him operate the offense. And that's what they were doing. Did the Suns take that approach? Nope. Because the Suns don't play no defense. They don't have no reason to. So, like I said, I got to go with SGA. If he can pull this out, which it looks like he will, and he's going to be the MVP. That's just how it is. I mean, unless Joker could do something, stats ain't going to get it for me, man. Stats alone ain't going to do it because these stats are way inflated. There's no competition. If we say, man, the stats are inflated, but it was competition at the center position. Okay, we probably could rock with that. But the numbers are inflated and there's no competition at the center position. We just seen this. The Lakers said they don't need a center. They got rid of AD. They said, we don't need a center. For what? I mean, we know they're going to, play Debo basketball, but I'm just saying this is real telling, folks. They don't really need a good center. Not in this era. You don't see the OKC, number 1 in the league. I think they got the best record. Do they have a center? No, sir. Not a good center. You don't need that. If this keeps up in 5 years, they just might get rid of centers. It might not be a center position. So look at this. If it's based on stats, tell me this. Look at these numbers. Michael Jordan, we know what he did in his 88 season. That would be a waste of time, right? To even go back and look at that. So the next season, 88-89, he put up 32, 8 and 8 with 3 steals, 0.8 blocks, shot 53% from the field, and 85% from the line. Did he win an MVP? Nope. I mean, that's an all-time phenomenal season. I think Luka, didn't he put up something close to that last year? As far as the 32, 8 and 8, something like that. But we know he didn't get the 3 steals or the 0.8 blocks, or neither did he shoot 53%. But I'm just saying, you can see how inflated the numbers are today. if Michael Jordan did that way back in the defensive era, numbers like that never seen before since maybe Wilt Chamberlain. The next season, 89-90, puts up 33.6. What is this? 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2.8 steals, 0.7 blocks, and he shoots 52% and 84% from the line. Did he get the MVP? Nope. Nope, nope, and nope. Nope, nope, and nope. So it's not all about stats, folks. Let me check something out real quick. Make sure that 90 season was right. No, he got it in 91. So those 2 years, 80, 89, and 90, he didn't get it. And he put up all-time numbers. Could you imagine putting up some number like that back then and not winning? And they're saying guys with loaded teams, guys with 4 or 5 Hall of Famers on one team, they're saying that that guy on that team is the most valuable player to that team. You figure that name out. I shouldn't have to tell you, but Michael Jordan should have had 2 MVPs right there because he was the most valuable to his team. If we're talking about most valuable, right? But a guy with 5 Hall of Famers on his team, well, with him, I think it was like 4 or 5 with him on the team, he was the most valuable to his team. And if we're talking about stats, Michael Jordan should have won it based on stats, but he didn't. You saw what he had to do just to get an MVP and put up that historic performance in 88, because 87 wasn't good enough. They didn't care. Oh, Mike came off a broke foot and put up 35. What was it, 35? Let me make sure this is right. No, it was 30. I think it was 37. 37. 37. So he put up 37, 5, and basically almost 5, 4.6 assists, 3 steals, 1.5 blocks. And I think he shot 48% from the field and 85% from the 3. They said that wasn't good enough, folks. Wasn't good enough to win MVP, being a great offensive player and being a great defender. Not only did they say you didn't get the MVP, they said you didn't even make defensive first team after averaging 1.5 blocks and 3 steals a game. That would be unheard of in this era. And you know what he had to do? He did what he did in the 88 season and won MVP. So again, the next season, Michael Jordan put up these insane stats: 32, 8, and 8, 3 steals, 0.8 blocks, and shot 53% from the field and 85% from the line. I think earlier I said he shot 84% from 3 in the 87 season. I mean, from the free throw line. Yeah. But Michael Jordan next season put up 32, 8, and 8, and 3 steals, 0.8 blocks, and he shot 53% from the field. Was that good enough to win MVP? No, sir. Wasn't good enough to win MVP. They didn't care. That's an all-time historic season right there. LeBron James never even had a season like that. 32, 8, and 8, 3 steals, while shooting 53% from the field and, 85% from the line. They said some other guy with a few Hall of Famers on his team was more valuable to his team. So when we look at the next season, 89-90 season, Michael Jordan puts up an insane 33 points per game, 6 rebounds, basically 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.8 steals, 0.7 blocks, and he shoots 52% from the field and 84% from the line. Was that good enough to win MVP? No, sir. That wasn't good enough to win an MVP because somebody else was more valuable to their team. So what I'm saying here, folks, is it about stats? Or is it about most valuable to your team? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not hating on Joker. I'll put him over LeBron James all time because we talked about that. And I'm leaning towards putting Greek Freak over LeBron James like we talked about, because Greek Freak didn't have a super team when he won a championship. But, what is it about? Is it about stats or most valuable to your team? What is it about, folks? Skap is really confused about what he wants to talk about, because Michael Jordan should have two more MVPs. And clearly, SGA doing what he's doing is more valuable to his team, as he's putting up great stats. That's all I'm gonna say about this, folks. I can't cry a river for Joker in his lack of help, because I don't think he has a lack of help. Because to me, I said in the past that the reason why SGA is in number 1 seed, not because he has better stats than Joker, but because his team is playing for him. He don't have this all-time great team. He don't. His team is playing for him. It was many years when Michael Jordan's team, when they was winning championships, was playing for him. Okay? To me, we talked about this before. This is on Joker. There's no way he should have let Porter Jr., I think that's his name, Michael Porter Jr., sign that max contract, and Jamal Murray sign that max contract if they're not even all-star level, let alone Hall of Fame level players. He should have told that team, the Denver Nuggets, no, you can't let them sign that contract. They're not even all-star players. You can't do that. I got to get me a Hall of Fame player that can play next to me. He should not let them sign that contract. But we all know why he let those guys sign those contracts, because he likes playing with them. LeBron James went and got Luka. Kevin Durant is playing with Bill and Booker. Greek Freak went and got Dame time. You know why? Because those are their teams. Brunson went and got Karl Anthony Towns. So we can't sit here and cry a river with Skap Attack because Joker won't go and get great players. Because it's obvious Joker don't want other great players, because it will bring down his stats. It just will. Michael Jordan had to bring down his stats and able to elevate Scottie Pippen. He can't keep putting up these same stats and Scottie Pippen be elevated. There's no way. He left, but you got to remember, Michael Jordan basically was leading his team forever in steals, assists, and points. But he couldn't keep doing that. You can't win like that. So, it's just like that. Just like Kareem, he couldn't keep putting up the same points if he was going to win with the Lakers. And he certainly couldn't get the same rebound. So he had to, share the load. LeBron James, well, I won't even put him in there because he's stat padded. And this is what Joker's doing. He's stat padding to get these numbers. But he, like I said, if he's going to get this MVP, I heard Too Raw for Sports say he's going to have to win championships. He can't just have one championship. He's way into his prime. I think he came in 2014? Might have been before that. I think it's 2014. So he's like 10 years. He's 10 years into, his career. And like I said before, the OKC really doesn't have a better team when we look at it than Denver. He's got a guy on his team, I forget this guy's name, but he just made his first All-Star appearance. He's been playing basically all year with, I guess, Chet Holmgren could be a borderline All-Star, but he's not even been there all year. So he's been playing and winning without a great center. So that's all I'm gonna say. Is it about stats, or is it about you being the best player on your team, or the most valuable? Somebody got to tell me that. We all know Skap ain't gonna respond to me. He ain't got the balls to. Listen, I can call out Skap, and I don't have nothing against Skap. He does great work. I was on his channel a long time ago. I said, man, this guy in his comments should have 100,000 subs easily. He does great work. But when it comes to that thing with Gilbert Arenas, it burnt me. It burned me up, because not only was he begging to have this fake beef and face off with Gilbert Arenas, but after he did it, he was basically on his knees praising Gilbert Arenas for having a debate with him. Really? Gilbert Arenas? Like the guy who bashed Kobe, Michael Jordan, In the 90s players, you're on your knees thanking this guy in a debate with this guy that's going to lie. You knew he was going to lie, and you came in a debate with him. And, now this Joker thing, and I said, no, I don't have nothing against Joker, but, the stats are inflated, bro. It's not the same triple doubles that, it's a faster paced era than even the 210s. And these ain't the same stats that, the same triple doubles when we talk about if he was doing it in the 2000s or the 90s or the 80s or the 70s, where you have real center competition, where you would have to actually play center. And, I'm not scared to call these guys out. I know Dreamers Pro won't respond to me. That's why a guy in my comments said, oh, look at this guy. He's going at Dreamers Pro. And I said, he ain't going at Dreamers Pro. They're about making each other money. So if they can, get the dummies to go back to each other's channel, they can get views. They're not against each other. Dreamers Pro scared to call out my name because he know he can't make no money off of me because I'm not monetized. I can beat on him like a drum for being an ESPN, Fox, Disney informant, but he's not going to say my name. He knows who I am. When I said something about him working for ESPN, Fox, and Disney, he knows who I am. But what he say on the show, he says some guy is saying that. And he said, oh, if I'm getting this, where's my Bugatti? And I said, just like Johnny Arnett, you don't have to be getting $1 million. You don't have to be getting $100,000. As long as you can get something, $1,000, $2,000, something like that is still money, folks. So Dreaming Pro never proved me wrong. 95% of his videos is about ESPN and Fox and what they say on their network. So you run back and, see their channels because nobody watches that trash. But he's the first one to advertise what they say on ESPN and Fox every single day about what they're talking about. So he ain't got no beef with nobody because he shows it. His beef, when he got beef with somebody, he ain't gonna call out their name because he can't make no money off of them. The dudes that he's gonna call out, those dudes are monetized, so he can go back and forth with them, and you'll go back and see what they're saying on their channel, and you go back and his subs will go back and see Dreamers Pro channel, and they'll get views, they'll get money. So those are fake beefs. Those are fake beefs. It just is, folks. He won't never call out my name because he can't make no money off of me. It is what it is. I'm not going to keep repeating it. It is what it is. But, I don't have no beef against Skap. And I don't have no beef against Dreamers Pro. It is what it is. Anybody scared to call it out? It is what it is. He's got 200,000 subs by sitting at a desk. He really don't have no, great videos or no great graphics or nothing like that. He just sits at a desk and talks about ESPN and Fox. And that's how he makes his money. Because to me, he's getting paid from them. And to me, he done got all his subs, most of them, via ESPN and Fox. That's just how it is when you're buddy with them. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say, man. It's the most ridiculous thing. But again, if Joker does win MVP, to me, it's gonna be based on what he does the rest of the season. Because he's fighting for this number 2 spot with the Lakers. He's got 2 games with the Lakers coming up. Will he win those games? Will he win at least one of those games? How will he fare against OKC? Because it's not about the stats he put up. How will he pep talk his guys to elevate them to play for him? That's what it's about, folks. It ain't just about you putting up stats. You can put up stats against no great center. That's easy. There's no competition. Wilt, as much as they talk about Wilt putting up all these numbers, Wilt wasn't just dunking over dudes. If we want to be serious, you can watch Wilt's highlights, and he basically invented the fadeaway. That's what this dude was doing. A lot of fadeaways. So he was working the paint, working the block, playing defense, and stuff like that. Wilt was an all-around player. I mean, these guys are breaking Wilt's records and breaking other records in the softest, weakest era of all time. So to me, his triple-doubles really ain't triple-doubles if you think about it. If you think about his center competition, what center competition does he have to, battle and struggle against so they don't get points, so they don't get rebounds? And where's the center competition that's playing him to battle him so he don't get rebounds and points? It don't exist. This is this new NBA. It's the saddest thing you've ever seen. These dudes is getting stats against nobody, against no level of competition. All your top 5, all your top, you could say almost top 10 players don't even make a defensive team, not even a second team. This is crazy, folks. So I'm not even trying to, asterisk him for that, but it's about what he's going to do down this stretch, and not by stats. Oh, he put up a triple-double, man. Historic triple-double. He did this and that. No, it's about what your team is going to do based on you elevated your team. Because if SGA keeps elevating his team because they want to play for him, and SGA's putting up these stats that he's putting up on the offensive end and the defensive end, then he's got my vote. Because it just don't mean nothing to me. The triple-double don't mean nothing to me. I would be more, it would mean more to me. This guy ain't even averaging a block a game. How could they say he's playing good defense? How could Skap say he's playing good defense? He ain't even averaging a block a game as a center. And we know why. Because he's saving all his energy to get these assists. That's it, folks. So, truly, if he can narrow the lead, or he can get in that second spot and narrow the lead on SGA, I would say, I think it's about 11, 12 point game lead. I would have to say 5. If he can narrow that thing down to 5 by the end of the season, and he's still putting up these great stats, because like I said, his stats went down compared to what he was putting up at the All-Star break and what he was putting up a quarter way into the season. It's a triple-double, but his stats have went down. But if he can still put up these stats, and he can cut the lead to 5 on OKC, and he's got to be able to beat the Lakers at least one game, beat OKC one game, then I can give him my vote. But if he don't narrow that gap down to 5 games, and he lose both games to the Lakers, both games to OKC, there's no way, folks. These are just stats he's putting up in. He's the one that, like I said, he's the one that let Michael Porter Jr. sign that, max contract, let Jamal Murray sign that contract, max contract. So that's on him. So if he let those guys sign those max contracts, they should be able to play for him. They should be able to elevate their game for him. That's why they got these contracts. He's locked in with these guys. And again, he let these guys sign these contracts because he wants to play with them. He likes to play with them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. But if you can't get under them and light a fire underneath them, like, dude, I let you sign these contracts. Now you got to come through. You didn't even make the All-Star game, All-Star team, and you sign these contracts via me let you sign these contracts? No. That's it, folks. So, Skap can cry a river about his, leading the league in his the box metrics and the triple doubles. They ain't gonna get done. It's showing how weak and soft the era really is. We know Joker is Joker. He's doing, and that's why I get on Anthony Edwards, because you can't average 30 points per game. We know you're not gonna get double-digit rebounds or anything close or anything double-digit assists, but you can't average 30 points. Look what Luka has been doing. Look what Joker has been doing, and you can't even average 30 points per game in this soft week era. And Ja Morant, these guys are a joke. When we look at what Luka and Joker's been doing the last 4 seasons, Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards is a complete joke, folks. They're a complete joke. They're a complete joke to American basketball. Complete joke. Because Luka and Joker is out here showing you how weak and soft this era really is. And the Plumbers just repeated on the dunk contest, showing you how unathletic black players have become. Just the truth. So something's got to give, folks. It is what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Sick of Skap crying. He wants it both ways. You can't have it both ways. And hell, they almost lost that game. Imagine if he would have got that triple double like that, and they would have lost that game. Which they really couldn't, because in overtime they took off Denver Nuggets. But it just burns my bridge with this stuff, with this Joker thing, because I'm not hating on the guy. I told you I put him over LeBron James, and that's it. I have, the utmost respect for him because he's doing what he has to do in this era. But at the same time, you can't, SGA is doing what he has to do. You can't, you can't, give SGA that kind of smoke and give it to Joker. And SGA is going to get that smoke. To me, if he has the number 1 seed again 2 years in a row and he can't reach the Western Conference, if he can't reach the finals, then what? Then what, folks? I mean, what do we really have with these international players? Because we already saw Luka lose in the finals. They basically got manhandled. And, I'm not holding nothing against them, but this international thing, international players, it ain't looking good, folks. Luka got smoked in the championship game. Joker, won finals, and him going on 4 MVPs. It ain't looking good. And SGA can't reach the finals. We got to keep it fair across the board.